Alright, so what's up, beautiful and lovely people? I was on Reddit throughout the week and I screenshot like some stuff that I really wanted to talk about. So right now I'm just gonna be talking about them like right now. So might as well just start talking about them. So the first post was, well, I don't think that I'm gonna include the person that actually wrote it because of confidentiality issue. Because I, even if they did posted it on Reddit, so I really don't know like where this video is gonna go, so I'm not gonna include their names and stuff. So I think I'm gonna be putting probably a screenshot of the whole post like over there so that you guys can see it yourself and probably read it if you can. So the first one is about like voluntarism is rampant is Premed. But like the whole rant was about like how Premed's like they volunteers and they do like different kind of volunteers, and there's kind of volunteers that I've never really heard people talk about, or the people that I'm around mostly is like out of country voluntarism. It's just pretty much like them flying out of country and actually go volunteer, which is pretty good. I'll say if you have the means to do so, like be my guest, do it. Like some people do go out of country, sometimes out of state, but mainly out of country, and well they will do like first aid stuff like taking blood pressure, and I've never heard about them like suturing, but like the blood pressure thing was really common. Like they go out of country and they take blood pressure and they do other like voluntarism stuff, which is pretty good, I'll say, because hey, if you have the means to do so, you can go out of country like to see new people, a new environment, and probably like learn new culture if it's your thing. And maybe, most likely, definitively, it's gonna be something that you're gonna be talking about in your personal statement, and probably, or most likely, or better be something that actually ended up being a really good experience, and that's kind of like shape who you are as a person, maybe, most likely, but better be. And the reason why I'm saying better be, it's because of the cost. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I cannot afford something like this. I really cannot afford like going out of country or even going out of state at this moment with like this whole situation going on, and do something like this, which is pretty good. Because hey, even if it's like taking blood pressure and maybe do other stuff, so I still helping people, well, maybe in the moment, but I really don't know like how they do it, but I'm just like thinking and saying exactly what I feel about it and how I feel about it. Well, I guess it's really good for those people, maybe it's gonna like put them on the habit of like checking the blood pressure and maybe like do other stuff if they do it for them, like probably check their sugar too, and make them very much more cautious about what they eat, and maybe bring a change of diet for those people. I really don't know like what's like the whole experience is about, like if it's only taking blood pressure, but most likely it's gonna be more than taking blood pressure. But the reason why I'm saying this is because there is other stuff that you can actually do instead that is pretty much like doing the same thing, but minus like getting the culture or the culture aspect, or maybe the out of state or out of country aspect, which is pretty much like you being a CNA or patient tech, which is what I am right now. So I do a lot of blood pressure, probably like take more than there. I probably take more than 40 or maybe 50 blood pressure a week, to be honest, with my job. And at the beginning, it was really excited, but right now it's just the blood pressure. It's like nothing really excited about it, but I do get the fact that it's really important, because hey, based on what your blood pressure might be, you might get a specific regimen that has been assigned to you or that has been prescribed to you that they need to give you because they're managing your blood pressure and they don't want it to go too low or go too high. But hey, I'm gonna wait until I'm a professional and actually talk about like hey, what blood pressure is, because I kind of have a basic idea, maybe understanding of what blood pressure is, but I do not have like this general or like this big knowledge about blood pressure and can prescribe regimen based on what the blood pressure is, or someone who has like, I'll say, out of range blood pressure, which is, well, was it like what 150 over something? No, 150 is alright, but I think it's like 90 over 60. It's like lower, but 120 over 80, it's kind of like good. Don't quote me on this, even if I take blood pressure every day. But yeah, I'll say, you know what? I'm gonna read the OP post. What did the OP said? So it was like maybe it's just my undergraduate, but I keep seeing people post about they want 3 week trips to a third world country where they take blood pressures and help change lives and make an impact. The reason why I'm laughing right now is because they put it on in quotation. And these are usually people with no clinical certifications doing things they would have definitively not be able to do in the States, while overseas being morally questionable at best. Well, I'll say certification definitely does matter, and the thing that it does mainly, I'll say for me, is like taking liability from this specific person that gave you the job and put it on you because hey, you're certified to do this specific job. Therefore, if anything happened to it, liability is not only gonna fall on whoever gave you the job or whoever is with you, but also with you as well. Because hey, you know what? You're certified. You went to school to actually do that, so you know it well, so you can do your job well. But the thing is, I'm also taking blood pressure, and I was not certified. Well, before I got the job, I was not certified to do so. So I was pretty much like, um, got trained on the job. So I applied to multiple jobs because I didn't have a certifications, and I generally wanted to get a new job because I was a scribe by then, and then they were about to lay us off for AI, like a new AI thing that they had. And I was really anxious, so I started applying like to multiple jobs, and then I got this call back, and I got the job, and then I got trained, which was pretty much like 3, maybe like 2 weeks, not 2 weeks, 2 months, like the whole thing. But it was not 2 months me taking blood pressure. It was a bunch of other things like me emulating patients, and like how to put an AKG leads on people. It was a bunch of other stuff, to be honest. But the thing that I'm trying to say is you do not necessarily need a certification to do so, or to do this. Having a certification, yes, will be good because I think maybe we can put it on your med school application. Don't quote me on this because I did not apply on med school for med school yet, so I can't really tell. But yeah, so if you have certifications or you want to take a certification, so yeah, please be my guest. But it's not something that you necessarily need to do this because you can get trained on the job. And then the OP proceeds to say, "Sour girl posts an entire TikTok dump of a at a fancy restaurant on the beach." And the last slide was her with a stethoscope on her neck and a child posing in the picture with her. My college has a free clinic and countless organizations to work with underserved population, and I don't know, maybe I'm just a little irk seeing people pay and write about this experience has if they are not paying to have fun in the country and do a PowerPoint slides presentation for some kids. Would love to hear anyone else's opinions or experience about this. Alright, so yeah, that's pretty much the OP asking for opinions. But the stethoscope thing, I'm not gonna lie, I really don't feel comfortable with having a stethoscope around my neck because I generally don't know what I'm doing. I'm a pre-med, I'm studying for the MCAT. I generally don't know when I'm gonna take it. I thought that I have like this specific dates of like when I really want to take it, but the way that my life is right now, I generally cannot tell whether or not I'm gonna take it at this specific day. So that's one of the reasons why I just, I'm studying for the MCAT, so I generally don't know when I'm gonna take it. But like the whole stethoscope thing, I really do not feel comfortable with having a stethoscope around my neck because I generally don't know how to use it. One, and then two, I really don't think that I can get out much out of it, to be honest. Because what am I gonna do with this stethoscope? Like listening to people, lungs and heart beats. And other than that, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna diagnose them? Am I trained to do so? No, I don't think so. Well, no, I'm not trained to do so. Like, why the heck would I want to have a stethoscope around my neck? But I'll say mainly like a personal things because I do know some pre-med would really like posing with stethoscope and be like, hey, future doctor. It's not like I have something against it, but it's just something that I will never do, and I generally don't see myself doing because I personally don't find any meaning out of it. So I'll say, yeah, that's pretty much like how I'm gonna keep it. But like, good for them. So if you can go out of state or maybe go out of country, because that's what the post was about, to go do this voluntarism or have this experience, like please go for it. Be my guest. Get more out of it. Like have the opportunity like to go out of country, like to meet new people, meet new culture, and then they write about it. I think that's good. I think that's pretty good. But you also should know that hey, you know what? The thing that you could have possibly like pay 5,000, maybe like 10,000 for, and which was only 3 weeks. You can actually get paid for this and do it in the state and get way much more out of it. Like for example, it's gonna be longer, so more patient interactions, so you can pretty much like follow up on those patients, because it's not like only gonna be you taking blood pressure and then never see those patients. So if it's like a hospital, maybe an institution, so those patients, you probably most likely gonna see them again, because they're gonna be coming back maybe for the same reason or maybe for other reasons. So you can kind of like follow up on them, and you also have the occasion like to meet other providers, doctors sometimes, because hey, they're working at the specific institutions, whether than just like you paying like 10K to go somewhere and then it's only for 3 weeks and then you never like see those people again. But that's a personal choice, that's a personal decision, so I really don't have much to say about it beside of how I feel about it, which is effed up, I'll say, because I just said I really don't have anything to say about it. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep it at this, and that's the way that I feel about it. It was really confusing, but I'm sorry, just a little or a big bit. And why am I talking for 11 minutes? Damn, it's not even that deep. But okay, I'm gonna cut this thing out.